You're here back in the fantasy bar. It's Friday. There's 10 games on the docket. Let's do a little happy hour. 5 of my favorite plays under 7,000 on both FanDuel and DraftKings. And my favorite play of the night. Who is it? Belly up to the fantasy bar and find out. Welcome in, guys. Friday edition Beers Daily Fantasy Six-Pack. Good to be back here once again in the fantasy bar, providing 6 of my favorite plays across FanDuel and DraftKings. Welcome in, guys. Thank you, as always, for stopping by. Before we get into the plays, do me a favor. Click that thumbs up button. That's our tip jar here in the fantasy bar. This video comes to you free. All I ask, a little thumbs up love there. And make sure you subscribe to the channel to get notified when these videos are coming out. All right, we got 20 teams to break down. I promised you some mid-range and value plays. That's exactly where we're going to start at point guard, shooting guard with TYRESE HALIBURTON of the Kings. Now, as of this recording, De'Aaron Fox, questionable to play here tonight. I think that's a big one to watch here. Now, Brooklyn, that's a team everyone's going to load up on, no doubt. No Durant, no Kyrie. Not going to cover Brooklyn here. You know to play some Brooklyn value. But I think HALIBURTON, one of the better value plays on this slate if Fox does not play tonight. And even if he does, I still don't hate him. That'll drive the ownership back down. Now, if Fox is out, yeah, he's going to have some ownership, but I'm okay with it. Why? When we run the numbers, we see this guy averaging over 1.1 fantasy points per minute with De'Aaron Fox off the floor and was outstanding in that last game. Showed us what kind of ceiling he can bring to the table. Career high in scoring and hit over 44 DraftKings points in that game. If he comes anything close to that, we are cruising at a $5,400 salary. Loving TYRESE HALIBURTON to lead us off here on Friday night. All right, let's stay in the mid-range, but let's go down low with the big man, center Mitchell Robinson of the Knicks. Now, we've talked about the coaching change here with New York, and I think it's good things for the starters. We've seen the emergence of Julius Randle. We've seen my boy R.J. Barrett play well. We're also starting to see Mitchell Robinson really start to come into his own here. And the upside, the ceiling that this guy gives you at a sub 6K price point, really something I want to attack here tonight. And we saw a big game out of him last time out with Nerlens Noel on the shelf. We'll see if he returns. He is questionable. That's not really going to affect a ton. I think it may take a few fantasy points away, some minutes away, but I still like Robinson here at these cheap price points. Block shots, steals. Why are we talking about that? Because on FanDuel, those are so valuable. We know that. And he's given us multiple blocks now in 6 of the first 8 games of the season. Also, 2 or more steals in 4 of his last 6 games. So really chipping in those important categories over on FanDuel. And Steven Adams, not going to walk through that door. The Thunder really struggling against bigs, 20th in defense. First archetype against post players like Mitchell Robinson. Add it all up, he's too cheap. Good matchup here and big upside for Mitchell Robinson tonight against the Oklahoma City Thunder. All right, let's stay in the mid-range. More value at that power forward center spot with Brandon Clarke of the Grizzlies. So like Robinson, Clarke, a young player that's really getting more opportunity here. We know Ja Morant on the shelf. We know they need offense, and Clarke really starting to help fill some of that void. And he's given us 25 or more FanDuel points now in 5 of the last 6 games. So getting us there in cash games. Have we got huge ceiling games out of him? I'm going to say not yet. I think they are coming as he gets more acclimated here. Showed some signs in his rookie season last year, but really starting to come on here. And a guy you can count on. And I think those ceiling games are coming. We talked about Brooklyn being a spot people are going to attack value without Kyrie, without Durant. No doubt, you're going to have some Brooklyn in your lineups. I think Clarke the guy you want as the run it back. And we've seen Dylan Brooks, Kyle Anderson be good in spots. I don't hate Valanciunas either, but Clarke really the guy, I think, at these price points that stand out, especially on FanDuel at just a tick over 5K. And why? The reasons we talked about, but as well the matchup here. Fantasy points allowed, bottom 10 are the Nets against power forwards here. So another guy I think is a tad too cheap here. I think we're going to start to see more upside out of him. Brandon Clarke in a good spot here tonight against the Brooklyn Nets. All right, speaking of injuries and guys having to step up, let's continue in that route with shooting guard small forward Terrence Ross of the Magic. Now, hated to see Markelle Fultz go down. You know, he's been through a lot, been very good here with Orlando over the last season or so, but he goes down, it's next man up, and I know a lot of people are going to look at Cole Anthony at the point guard position, but I like Terrence Ross here to step in and provide more offense for this team. We also have Evan Fournier listed as questionable. If he's not able to return, I really like Ross in the spot, especially on FanDuel, just 5,700. And I think the shooting guard position over there, loaded up with options, no doubt. You go a different route here with Terrence Ross, going to help make your lineup a little bit differently. Sure, you got to sacrifice some of the studs at that position, but we've seen Terrence Ross put some big games on the board, so it's not out of the question for his ceiling to come close to what those guys are going to give you, and you save a few thousand here to spend elsewhere. In fact, 28 or more FanDuel points now in 5 of the last 6 games, and haven't even talked the matchup with the Houston Rockets, always a matchup I'm circling on my sheet, no different here tonight. Terrence Ross going to be a big part of my Friday night builds. All right, let's talk a little narrative here. We'd like to have some fun in the fantasy bar. Let's go to the point guard position with LaMelo Ball of the Hornets. So LeVar got to be excited about this one, and I am as well. First time I've ever been on the same page with LeVar about anything, but LaMelo versus Lonzo here. First time in the NBA. So a little bit of a narrative with that, but let's get into the numbers here as well. I know Lonzo, a very good defender, but LaMelo been pretty solid here. Double-digit scoring now in 5 of his last 6 games. 5 or more assists in every one of those games, giving us steals, giving us all across the categories, really chipping in with everything. We talked about the steals, multiple steals now in 3 of the last 4 games, and under 7K on both sites. When you get a guy that can give you triple-double level upside here, you also get the narrative to have a little fun with it. But the numbers say LaMelo Ball a little bit too cheap. The minutes, I think, are going to start to increase here sooner rather than later, and maybe it's tonight against his brother. All in all, I love this spot here. LaMelo Ball, one of my favorites here on Friday night. All right, it's time to take a look at my favorite play for Friday night in the NBA. But before we do that, we're going to continue our Beast of the Night contest. Absolutely free to play. What do you got to do? Very simple. Get in the comment section and let me know fantasy points on FanDuel for my favorite play of the night. Closest guess to his actual output will win themselves a free 3-day pass to RotoGrinders Premium. Or if you're already a premium subscriber, and we thank you for that, we'll send you a free RotoGrinders t-shirt. So without further ado, let's wrap this baby up. My favorite play of the night, you know, Mass, the Beast of the Night. All right, Beast time. We've saved you in a lot of spots so we can spend some money at small forward, power forward with JAYSON Tatum of the Celtics, tonight's Beast of the Night. Now, Tatum, no stranger to this Beast slot. We've had him in here already this season, going back to the well once again. Why? A lot of reasons why, but let's start with that floor he's been giving us. 40 or more FanDuel points now in 7 of his first 9 games, so we can count on him getting to where we need him to get to. We also know plenty of ceiling in there, plenty of 50-point outings here as well, and the discount. You look at some of the other studs on the slate, the Hardens, the Giannis's, and maybe Tatum doesn't quite have that level of upside, but it's pretty damn close. So give me the discount on JAYSON Tatum, under 9,500 on both sites here tonight. And the old beer gut, we only bring it up here once in a while, but really talking to me here, I think JAYSON Tatum really unlocks his ceiling in this matchup. The Wiz early on, been good against power forwards, small forwards, but I think we see a breakout game out of JAYSON Tatum here. I think he goes over 60 fantasy points for the first time this season. Get him in those lineups. JAYSON Tatum, easily my favorite play for Friday night and tonight's Beast of the Night. All right, guys, that'll do it for Friday night with 6 of my favorite plays on FanDuel and DraftKings in the NBA here in the Fantasy Bar. If you have any comments, questions, feedback, guys, let's talk about it in the comment section. Don't forget, click that thumbs up button. Only takes a second. I greatly appreciate it, guys, and good luck here tonight on the slate for RotoGrinders.com. I am Beer saying salut, guys. Again, best of luck to you. Good luck tonight. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist.